around the globe come together
to grow, collaborate,
and expand their business.
Where we take our individual fires and put them together and make one big fire.
This is the Honey Badger Nation.
Hey, Sekou, can you hear me okay, man?
Yes, sir. Dude, Bryce, man, your intro is one big fire.
Man, I tell you, man, it's been crazy, man. It's awesome. So I want to thank you today. You know, we had that connection. I wanted you to be the first one I interview going through this new series I have coming up. So today I just wanted to take some time and really, you know, I know you're on a tight schedule.
It's all right,
so we're gonna get through there. I appreciate your time. What I want to start with is just kind of tell me a little bit about your real estate journey, kind of where you started and kind of where you are today.
I have a Charles Dickens story of a real estate start, man. If I go way back, man, I lived in New York. I was on 156 in Riverside Drive in Manhattan, which is just on the edge of Sugar Hill from back in the day, and then it became Washington Heights up in the day, and you know, I had this basement apartment that I had inherited from my family. And by inherited, it was a rental unit that became, you know, it was just like a perpetual rental unit. And they did a condo offering in the building. And I picked this condo unit up. I picked this rental unit up as a condo for a ridiculously low amount. And then turned around a few years later and sold it on the market for like a gajillion % return on my investment, you know? And it was like in my blood. Like I was like addicted to this thing. And I went off and got married. And my wife at the time says to me, you know what, you should get into real estate, man. You're really good at this. And I went and I joined this little tiny dirty penny of a real estate company at the top of Hoboken, right? Hoboken is 1 square mile. And I joined this little, like, it was a sitcom version of a real estate company. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
With like the loud receptionist that's like sassy to everybody and, you know, all of that. Right. And I spent maybe 2 years there. And I mean, it was like quite literally the most terrible real estate company in the town. And I didn't do anything. I did like $10,000 my first year. And I bought the unit that paid me the $10,000. Like I bought my own unit, right? And I bump into this company and I start asking questions and I start looking around and I could hear, I went on the interview with the broker and I could hear these guys in the back, like on fire, like doing deals, and, you know, they talk about, and like, the place where I was at, you know, like you were lucky if somebody was making coffee, you know what I mean? Like it was like, that was the production. Right. And I don't know, man, I sort of got into the groove of things and got lucky that I interviewed at a company where they were doing the business of real estate and just not the day-to-day grind of real estate. And it hasn't been a Cinderella story, but it has been a pretty consistent climb through good and bad. 2005, 2006, when everybody else was like sort of shuddering and you know, please, sir, may I have some more? You know what I mean? Right. We pivoted and you know, once you learn where business comes from and you can generate business, there's no fear of the ups and downs. And I've sort of been in that space ever since. It took one break to have a preemie where we had to be with him around the clock for, you know, 3-4 months. And then I put my toe back into the real estate market and it's been climbing ever since, man.
Right. So when you started solo agent team, kind of what did that look like for you first starting out?
I'm embarrassed to say, man, when I started out, man, I was a solo agent and I did terrible. I was doing terrible as a solo agent because I was passive, man. I would just wait for people to come. I was posting on Craigslist waiting for people to come to me. And then I got really good. Like I did get very, very good. all of my success came when I started to collaborate with other agents, even if it was just like a small team collaboration. I worked with some really great, hardworking agents that helped to put my process together. Everybody talks about system and process. I believe that the system is people and the process are the steps that they take, right? And so I used to be dead set against big teams. Well, now, I've run a team of 65 people. I've scaled down to 12 people that do 5 times the amount of work as the 65 people. And I am the growth coordinator for the Devoe team. I work on a team it's a national team. We've done deals from Maine to Miami, from Long Beach to Long Island. It's been really, really, really lucrative. I keep looking over here because you're here and my camera's over here. So
I know you got that awesome sweet setup there, man. So it's all good. Hey, we're getting the information no matter where you're looking. We know you're focused in on it. So now you're over at eXp.
yes, sir.
Did you have that team when you switched over to eXp, or did you find that once you got kind of made that switch?
It's a great question. Nobody's ever asked me that, by the way.
Awesome.
So I appreciate that. Dave and I, man, we had the team. Dave had the team at the independent company, Liberty Realty. What up? All y'all at Liberty, right? And then he moved it over to Keller, and that's when I joined his team at Keller. And what we were doing at Keller was we were doing this thing called expansion, and it was really innovative at the time. The concept was absolutely amazing, and no one had ever presented it to us before. It allowed us to be like a mini franchise within the franchise. But all of the benefits of owning a franchise were there, but all of the pitfalls for owning the franchise were there, and they were even greater, right? And so it cost us a lot of money to expand into a different market. We had to rely on local talent to train. But then, it was just the sound and the audio and the visual didn't match up. You know what I mean? And so when we came over to eXp, we were sort of at our wits' end on what to do at at Keller. And I say this all the time, Bryce, that I made a huge mistake when I came over to eXp. Everybody goes, "What? What do you mean by that, Sekou?" I'm like, I just thought it was just going to be a better version of Keller. And it was just so much more. It sort of really opened up our eyes to what really owning a multinational business really is, right? And so I would say this: I had a team when I moved over from Keller. Now we have a real group, a real round table that makes sense. And so the team that I had when I moved over is nowhere near, it does not resemble at all the team that we have now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So that switch to eXp really helped open that up and really alleviate that pain point for you guys and allowed you to just flourish and take off in ways that you haven't before.
1,000%. If anybody out there has ever seen one of our broadcasts, I use the phrase Frankenstein Monster all the time. Right, Frankenstein's Monster was put together through different pieces, and they used the very best piece of this person and the very best piece of that person, and tried to stick it together. But it was just this big, ugly, hunking, mass. When we came over, we were still continuing to do that process in the first 6 months, thinking that's how it was done, and it's really not. It's not how it's done. And we sort of pushed the easy button when we came over here. I'll give you a great example if I can ramble just for 2 seconds.
Absolutely, man.
We've gone through, 10 different CRMs, right? And this CRM was good for this, and this CRM was good for that. And we were doing a lot of deals. So it wasn't like, we weren't using the CRMs at the highest level that we could. Well, we come over here and sort of by default, we ignored KV Core for the first 6 months to our peril, right? Once we started, and I know this sounds funny, like, with this, we do a lot of production, we do a lot of different deals, It's so simple. I wake up to 100 different lead sources. 100 different leads a day from KV Core.
Right.
Instead of, it was more like, oh, okay, there we go. So that's one of the things that we realized. That's one of the pain points that we didn't even know we had.
Awesome.
And it solved the problem before we even realized it.
That's awesome. That's awesome here. Yeah. And that's one thing you've got the pain points you have,
Right.
And then you get exposed to something, then you've got pain points you didn't even know you had. So it's nice to be able to be in a place where you can take care of things you knew you needed to and things that you didn't know. So
yeah,
that's awesome to hear. As far as growing and coaching through your career, now you're the director of growth.
Yes, sir.
Kind of what coaching did you look for as an agent coming up, and then what do you provide now as far as coaching goes? Because I know you've got an awesome set of skills there. I don't even know where to start on that.
Well, I'll tell you what. If I'm going to be completely honest, I didn't even know what I was looking for in a coach. If I had to be honest, I was looking for somebody that was going to be like my manager at a boss, like a high-level manager at a boss. That's what I thought it was. And we got to a certain point where I was coaching with one of the best coaches in the world, right? Hands down. What's up, Pipesy? I was coaching with one of the best coaches in the world. And, what he sort of taught us was that, like, he's not here to teach us how to walk. He's here to shave seconds off of our run time, right? Like, he's not here to show us that, hey, it's okay for you to lace up your sneakers. He's like, have your ish together when we walk in the room so that I can actually help you with your form and your function so that you could do better. What I was looking for before was more like a nanny. And I'm very glad that I didn't find it, right? I was professionally immature when I was looking for a coach in the past. I will tell you now where I'm at. I'm not looking for anything. What I have at my fingertips, this is no exaggeration, what I have at my fingertips is some of the best minds in real estate who help me with whatever issue I have. My coach now is looking for me to grow. And in turn, as a coach, I've pointed my boat in the direction of success. And I'm looking for all of the people that are swimming towards my boat. You know what I mean? I don't waste a second looking for anybody swimming away from the boat.
Absolutely. And I know we've personally talked about training, and I need to get with you back after this as well. So I've had that conversation with you personally. So kind of what does that system look like for you with the people who are swimming towards the boat? Kind of what does that coaching look like for them if they want it and they're hungry like you're looking for?
I love your questions, Bryce, man. What Bryce doesn't know is that, like, I'm a huge fan of the know nothing agent, right? And so the know nothing agent is going to ask me questions. The know nothing agent is going to ask me questions that are kind of tough to answer, that I'm going to have to go looking for answers for. What I look for in an agent, and the agents that find me that are swimming towards me, tend to match up a lot because I'm very verbal about what I expect from them. What can these agents expect from me? They can expect a ton of accountability. The phrase, the through line for the coaching that we do is, there is no greater love that we could show than an incredible level of accountability, right? I'm no good to you if I don't hold you to account. What's different about us? I believe that was part of the question. And what do we provide? We're more of an action-based coaching company. If you do this, check the results, then do that sort of coaching. I'm very simple, ABCs, right? Wake up, kill it, wash, repeat. You know what I mean? We're not the coaching company that you come to that is going to sort of be like oh, well, you need to practice your scripts. And yes, you do need to do that. But like the coach for a professional football team, you should know how to practice your scripts, right? Like I shouldn't have to tell you to practice your steps. When you come to me, let's review the stuff that you've done and let's shave seconds off of your time and get you more deals. That's the kind of coaching we do. We meet every day. We lead generate every day together. What happens is that rather than me tell you what you should do, I show you what I do and what the top agents in your field does. I don't know. I went to New York City Public School.
I'm South Carolina. It's the same way, man.
And then in the evening, every single weeknight, what we do in the evening is we get together very casually. Wine is encouraged. Adult beverages are encouraged. We get together and we debrief. We sort of deconstruct the day and figure out what it is that worked and how we can implement that locally. And then we'll share the things that didn't work or the things that we're working on. And we may find that somebody in the Carolinas, right? Someone in South Carolina has more of a grasp on community organization than say somebody in Brooklyn that is very disjointed. And so we start to meld the two together. It's been an incredible experiment in collaboration. And the one-on-one sessions grow from those group sessions. It's been great. Everyone has been doing amazing stuff. As an example, we have an agent that has been an agent since March of last year. She was a school teacher up until March. And in March, we did this challenge called March to $1 Million, where everybody was to put $1 million under contract in the month of March. And these are brand spanking new agents, right? And she didn't win March, but she was damn close. The next month in April, we did April showers where we're making rain on them homes, right? I
like that, man. I like that.
She won April showers. And so it was $4 million that we had to put under contract. She put $7.5 million under contract. That was her first month as a full-time real estate agent.
That's incredible. That is awesome. That is awesome. That's incredible.
And those are the stories I love telling. And she was in North Carolina, by the way. She was your neighbor.
Absolutely, right up there. We got to get in touch. We got to get in touch then. No, I appreciate you sharing all that. We talked about the pain points, talked about the coaching. Anything else, kind of when you made that switch that it was like an aha moment for you guys, or that we haven't already kind of addressed, or anything that stands out in your mind?
I'll tell you something that is not readily known, right? And so this is personal. This has nothing to do with my group or anything like that. This is my perspective, right? I'm not a spring chicken, right? I've been doing this for a minute. There is in this industry, like several industries, a bit of a blind spot when it comes down to different demographics, and I have never been in a community of agents so diverse, so economically empowered, and so diverse when it comes down to the growth of business than I have been at eXp. I am a member of several groups inside of eXp, and the single connective tissue for all of them is collaboration and working together. I've got to interview some of the richest and most powerful people on the planet, and they are as diverse as the United Nations, man. And I appreciate that here, man.
Awesome. Absolutely. One kind of final thing to kind of wrap it all up, unless you have something else you just want to share right now. We're going to go back to the famous question, that everybody gets asked is, looking back in time, what is one thing, if you have one thing, what would you tell yourself as a new agent? If you can't narrow it down to one thing, I'll take two. I'll take a little extra there. But looking back, what would be the best piece of advice you could give yourself?
I tell you what, I will do the two things, but I'm going to sum it up with one word: equity. Right? Get equity. Equity in your life, equity in your business, equity in the way you pursue the growth of your business. Get some equity. Ownership of your business is the most important thing that you could do, Sekou. Listen to this guy, man. He knows what he's talking about. Yeah, you have a little bit more hair than him. I tell you what, man, the singular thing that I misunderstood in the beginning was just how much you own this business from the moment you get your license. And equity would be the thing that I tell myself.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Sekou, like I said, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day. I know it's hard to get in there. Every time I check your Calendly, you're crazy and everything, man. But I appreciate you coming on here, keeping it real like you always do. I just love conversations with you, no matter what.
Dude,
so
Bryce, it's equitable, man. Dude, that's that equity, man. It's
there we go.
reciprocal,
There we go. I appreciate it and appreciate the time you've had today. And I just can't thank you enough. So I really appreciate it.
Hey, if you don't mind, Bryce, I'm going to invite any of your viewers. I know this is going to sound crazy. I do have 2 seats left in our accountability circle Wednesday nights, and if they want to, they could just jump into my calendar. I'll let you put that up, man. They could just jump into my calendar.
Absolutely, man. I got you taken care of. We'll do that, and depending on who's out there, we may be fighting over a seat for you. So I'm coming soon, man. I got you. I'm coming.
I got you, brother.
So, yes, sir.
All right, man.
I appreciate it. You have a great day, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm out.